Hey guys, what's up? It's Lucy. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a freshman advice video for high school, or just high school advice, because every time I do a Q&A, I get so many questions, like high school advice, freshman advice, whatever. So here I am. A little something about me in freshman year. I was not happy. I didn't have friends and it just sucked in general. People ask me a lot, like, did you like high school? And I loved the last 2 years, but freshman and sophomore year were horrible. So going into high school, it's obviously a huge switch from middle school. You're changing classes, you're with a whole new pool of people. I personally went into high school thinking I wouldn't really have any problems, but once you're kind of thrown into this like whole new schedule, all these new classes, some honors classes being harder classes, it does get kind of difficult and it can be overwhelming. One of my first pieces of advice is from actually the book, what is it called? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And basically the last habit is to sharpen the saw. What that like means is, for example, you are trying to cut down a tree and your saw is not very sharp. Instead of just going and sharpening the saw and then you can cut the tree down easier, a lot of people will just skip that step because it's too much effort to sharpen the saw, and they will just cut down the tree with a blunt saw. Therefore, it takes longer and it's more effort. So what that means in like a school standpoint, which this goes to like anyone in high school, especially senior year, take active steps in like preparing yourself for what you're gonna learn in your education. For example, read the textbook. Like, don't just try to do your homework without doing the research before, or don't just try to like half-ass everything, because sometimes it's actually harder if you try to like spark notes a whole chapter of a book, even though it's just like 10 pages and you have a quiz on it. Sometimes just read the book, you know, like, because then you're more prepared, and like it might actually take a shorter amount of time than you going online and looking up all these different things for the book that you have to read. With saying that, I did spark notes a lot, and I think I read like 4 books all of high school. That's just being so realistic. You will probably do the same thing unless you have a lot of time and motivation to read the books. But I didn't read a book in high school until junior year because I actually had to, and I had a teacher that like I had to read the book. With that being said, I recommend lit charts to summarize the books for you, because it's very in-depth and like specific, and I had the best luck with that because Spark Notes, a lot of teachers read Spark Notes and they'll try to like catch you out on it if you have quizzes. Schmoop, don't even look at it, honestly. Like, if you have a teacher that's like kind of a hardo, don't even look at Schmoop or Spark Notes. Lit charts will like actually really help you. Try to get to know your teachers. I had the most fun in high school and like the best experience in my classes when I went after class to talk to my teachers, to not only ask for help, but just to say like, oh, actually this really interested me. Like in environmental science in junior year, I really found a liking to the subject, and so I would go and talk to my teacher about it and be like, oh, look what I like read up on, like look at this article, look at how this like impacted my life. And then he started to see me as not just his student but as an actual person. And I think in a lot of like high school classes, especially freshman year, the teachers don't really care about you as people, and once you kind of open up to your teacher or tell them about yourself or talk about your passions in a way that's connected to the class, they will start to see you more as like what type of a learner you are, and that will really help you. So then like if, say it's an English teacher, they're reading your essays, they know where you're coming from when you're talking, and they're not just grading a paper like with a blank face, kind of. That was really hard for me to learn because all through high school I was so scared of like getting negative feedback. I'm already like really bad with criticism, so I was so scared with like me going and being like, oh, tell me what was wrong with this essay, like why did I get a B on it instead of an A? I would never do that. But like once I started to do that, your teachers will give you points back, and like that helps so much. See, I would say like study like a week before your test, but like I would never do that. if you can do that, props to you, but like that is so unrealistic, like especially being in high school. If you're doing sports, because like freshman year and sophomore year I did sports, and so you're extremely busy, like you don't care enough, you know. What I would do, and when I was really stressed, or like say for like a bio test or something, you have to like get in the zone. And what I mean by get in the zone, don't go to the library with your friends. You have to like shower, feel like mentally calm, and then like sit at your desk and like rewrite your notes. That is something that helps so much, which I didn't figure out until senior year. Rewriting your notes, like handwritten, literally works wonders. Like I remember Camille used to do this a lot, and Camille's now going to Princeton, so like if that doesn't show you it works, like, so that is one tip that is so helpful. As much as I can say like Quizlet helped me, honestly it didn't as much as like handwriting my own notes. If you're just doing all your work super last minute and like trying to cram it all in your brain, you are more stressed and overwhelmed, so your brain can't take in as much information. Whereas if you do it in like a calm and timely manner, you will, it won't even take you more time in the long run if you just like divide it out. Do it like a couple days before, not like a week before. You feel calmer and you're using your time in a more productive manner. Friend wise, in terms of freshman year, I am not close with like almost all of the people I was close with freshman year, and like that is completely normal, because you go into high school kind of like clinging to your middle school crowd, and then you meet some new people and like whatever, and it's all great and fun, but like you won't really turn into the person you are until you're in like junior or senior year, because then you're like, oh, I don't like these kind of people, I deserve this kind of a friend, blah blah blah, you know what I mean? So like don't pressure or don't stress about people coming in and out of your life, because that is totally normal, especially freshman year. Don't be so close-minded with the people you're friends with. Do not get caught up with what everyone thinks about you. Sophomore year I was so anxious. I actually had like the worst anxiety of my life, and I would walk into school thinking everyone was staring at me, everyone was judging what I was wearing. I felt so stupid because I wasn't in like the highest level classes, which was a huge thing of high school for me, which I'll talk about next. But like I just felt so stupid because I would compare myself to my friends all the time. I would compare my grades to other people. It was so unhealthy, until I kind of took a step back and realized that like we are all on our own journeys. Like do not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. I love that quote. I am very artistic, and like I have my YouTube channel, which I didn't have then, and like I have my photography, and like those are things that make me different. And so like yeah, a lot of my friends are probably way better at math than me, but like they don't have this, you know. And like, not, I don't want this to sound weird, but like you just have to think about like everyone has their strengths in different things, and like mine just doesn't happen to be in school, so you just have to think about that, and it puts everything in perspective. So with what I was saying about feeling dumb, in freshman year I went in and I was in like basically there's like regular English and then like advanced, and then that was it. But now there's like regular, advanced, and honors, but at the time it was only regular and like advanced. And so I was in the advanced course and I got like B's, right? Like just solid B's. English has never been my strongest subject, but basically I was recommended for the on-level like regular English class for sophomore year, and that made me feel so stupid, and I couldn't get over it. And I didn't fight for myself. My guidance counselor, who I just did not have the best relationship with, I didn't feel supported by her at all in any of high school, and I didn't push for myself saying like, I can take the honors English, like I do have that ability. I didn't push for myself. I thought I was stupid and I got caught up in my own head and whatever. But like you can override the classes that they recommend to you, like your parents can override. And so if you really feel like you have the ability to like take the higher course, just take it. Do whatever it takes to get in that class, because it is so much easier to move down a level if you're struggling than to move up a level after. It is so much easier. And like it's not like people are gonna be like, oh, you moved down, oh, like who cares? Like it doesn't matter. I ended up like being in like honors and like AP Englishes like through junior and senior year, but sophomore year, like yeah, I had a really good GPA because I was in like those easy classes. It did not push me, and it kind of sucked. So I did get really caught up because I was really good friends with someone who was very smart at the time. I'm not gonna name drop, but like they were in all AP classes and they were like my best friend, and I would always just compare myself to her because I was like, I feel stupid and I feel like I'm not as smart as her, even though I totally was, just like not in like a book standpoint, you know? I mean, she's very intelligent, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is kind of a long video, and I think those are kind of like my main tips for freshman year. Personality-wise, completely be yourself. That's so basic. You won't meet the people that you want to meet if you're putting on a facade, if you're conforming to other people. You just won't meet your own people and you won't be happy. But yeah, this was my freshman high school advice. I hope you liked it. This was highly requested, so I wanted to film it. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at 5K and it would mean the world to me. Follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat, do all those things. Love you guys. Mwah.